Everyone talks about getting more views and subscribers on YouTube, but you can't get more views and subscribers if YouTube isn't even showing your video to more and more people. If YouTube isn't showing your videos, then it's really hard to grow on the platform. Now, in the last 90 days, I've been able to increase my YouTube impressions by 127%, which means that YouTube was showing my videos to 2.4 million more people than it was in the previous time frame. How did I do this, and how can you do the same? The answers and secrets are coming up in this video. So, are you ready? Hey Go-Getter, it's Salma Jafri. I'm the founder of YouTube Launchpad, the foundational course for growing your personal brand with video. If you want to increase your visibility, credibility, and your profitability with YouTube, be sure to hit the red subscribe button and the bell icon, and let's begin. How does YouTube show your videos? Well, the word for it is impressions, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. So when you go inside YouTube Studio and you go into your Reach tab, you can see that impressions are how many times your video thumbnails were shown to viewers. It includes only impressions on YouTube, not on external sites or apps. Okay, now the keyword in this definition is video thumbnails, and we're going to come back to that. I'm going to show you why that's so important. But in general, the more impressions your video has, the more likely it is to do well, which means that YouTube is showing your video to more people. Now, I'm going to put a caveat in here that the video's performance also really depends on how good the actual video is. But in this video, we're just concerned with how many times YouTube is going to show your video, right? So we're just concerned with impressions. All right, so because video thumbnails are so important, let's dive into what is the number one metric that drives impressions. So your video thumbnails are the most important thing that drives thumbnails. And the next metric that is really important to consider is the impressions click-through rate, which is really how many times your thumbnails are clicked. So it's number of clicks divided by number of impressions, which gives your impressions click-through rate. So the official definition for click-through rate is views per impressions shown. This measures how often viewers watched a video after seeing an impression. So YouTube is measuring every time we show this thumbnail, how many people actually click on it. And that is going to affect how many times it's going to keep on showing that thumbnail. Now, the CTR metric, the click-through rate metric, is more relevant when it is viewed per video rather than channel-wide. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to show you 3 different videos of mine with 3 different click-through rates. I'm going to see how CTR is directly proportional to impressions. So in this first video, you can see that the impressions click-through rate was 3.5%. And as a result of this kind of low impressions click-through rate, I got 13,200 impressions. Now, YouTube does say that average CTR is usually between 2 to 10% for a channel, but you always want to try to improve that and increase that, and always try to do better than your previous videos, right? Okay, let's look at another video. So this is the thumbnail, and the click-through rate for this one was 6%, and you can see that impressions increased, and so now this video has been shown 35,000 times. And the third example is of a video that had a click-through rate of 7.4%, and you can see that impressions were pretty high, 539,000 impressions. Okay, so the question is, what can you do to get YouTube to show your video to more people? Well, the answer is simple then, right? It is make better thumbnails, because thumbnails are directly proportional to having more YouTube impressions, which is the metric that YouTube is saying we're going to show your video thumbnails to these many people. All right, let's take a quick second and drop in a question for you at this point. I want to know, how much time do you spend making YouTube thumbnails? Let me know in the comments below. Now, I have been very focused on my thumbnail strategy the last specifically 90 days, and I want to show you the results of that. So if you look at my data, in the last 365 days, my impressions click-through rate was 4.3%, right? But if I change this to the last 90 days, then the click-through rate increased by 18% to 4.6%. Now, why was that? It is because I started to spend more time and effort and started to really understand how to create better thumbnails. And one of the tools that I use to do this is TubeBuddy's A/B testing feature. So if you have the Legend license on TubeBuddy, you can manage A/B tests. And what you can do is create different versions of your thumbnails and then see which one performs better. And TubeBuddy does this automatically. You just have to create the two different versions. It'll get you all the data you need to understand what kinds of thumbnails perform better for your channel. Because remember, this is going to be unique for every single person, every single YouTube channel. So on the Legend license, you can do this. And if you'd like to try this out, you can use my link for 20% off on TubeBuddy, which I'm going to put in the description down below. So in order to make better YouTube thumbnails, you want to next go and watch my playlist over here on how to create better thumbnails to increase your click-through rate, your CTR, and therefore get more impressions and get YouTube to show your video to more people, which is what we all want, right? So go watch this playlist next, and I'll see you in the next video.